Hey, Dante, how you doing?
Fine. How are you getting this whole kind of slightly new normal thing of pandemic living? But it just seems one day at a time at the minute. How are you doing?
Yeah, fine. You know, pretty good. I like wearing masks for some reason. It's an unexpected side effect of the pandemic, but I quite like wearing a mask.
Do you feel like a ninja, don't you? I mean, playing Ghost of Tsushima, it made me feel like I was really blending in. I was playing Sleeping Dogs the other day, and I made sure my character wore a mask, because you can do that over in Hong Kong. That was way before the pandemic. It was ahead of its time. Time, I say.
That's why they were so scared of it. They didn't make a sequel. But anyway, look, what I wanted to talk about today was, before we record the podcast, been looking through our accounts, and we are still hemorrhaging cash on the podcast and the YouTube channel. I mean, just bleeding. We've had to shut the website down. That's gone. But we are still, still got money coming out of our asses, left, right, and bloody centre.
Ooh, bloody in the middle there. Why is that?
Definitely.
Why are we losing so much?
I don't know. I've been looking through the receipts and stuff. I mean, there are a lot of pre-orders for different platforms that have been paid to CD Projekt Red for collector's editions of Cyberpunk 2077 that I can see. I mean, I'm guessing they're fraud or something. I don't know. Maybe I should call the police.
Yeah, fraud. No. I'll look into those. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Well, all right then. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, because there's a lot of them. I don't think anyone could fit those in a house, but there is some money going towards the Trump re-election campaign. Is that you?
Well, you know that Bannon dude is going to repay us the money he says he owes us.
Or hasn't Bannon been arrested for fraud?
Has he? Shit.
Okay, well that's money gone, I guess, from the loss side of the profit and loss account.
Bugger. Right.
So we're going to have to do what most other podcasts and YouTubers are doing now. We're going to have to get one of those, those corporate sponsor things where, you've seen the adverts at the start of videos or in podcasts where they go, here's a short introduction.
Yeah,
the person reads out a sort of trailer or something for a product,
The manscapey type stuff where they trim their balls in front of you and make you really uncomfortable, or some kind of VPN software.
Yeah, exactly. It's something along those lines. It's some kind of subscription service or build a website, whatever that crap is. Yeah. So I've been putting the feelers out, but these guys seem to throw money to anyone. I've seen these kind of adverts all over the place. Yeah. So put the feelers out, and I think we can get in on that coin. Yeah.
Okay, well, that sounds pretty good. Is there a catch in there somewhere? I'm sure there must be a catch. They don't just give money for free, right?
Well, I have worked out how to fudge our metrics a little bit to attract a sponsor that's probably a little bit outside of our means in terms of, brand, recognition and the size of our podcast. But I had a quick look over the contract. I forged your signature on it, so we're good there. All we need to do in this pre-credit sort of side before we go into the theme tune is just get you to read out this pre-prepared advert that they, the company, not us, they have put together, and that sweet cashback comes rolling in just because of how freaking awesome we are.
Okay, that sounds reasonable. Okay, so you going to give me a script on this one?
Of course, yeah. So I've emailed you the script now, it should be,
Ding, ding.
Should be coming there. Now, this is the kind of thing, what the brief they've given us is they want a really kind of commanding voice. And you know how my voice grates quite a lot on people.
Oh, especially me.
It's a common complaint. I understand that. So I just think that you should do this one solo. And when you're ready, just got the script ahead of you, just kick it in. I'll put some jaunty kind of what do you call it? Kind of, jaunty or trendy kind of
jingly, upbeat pop. Kind of, the everyday go-lucky, breezy. Breezy is a good word.
Yeah, breezy. Some breezy music in the background just to show that it's hey, we don't care, it's a brand. And then, it'll just sound really good. We've got it done. We've got it done before we get on the podcast. It doesn't compromise us. And so,
I like the part about it not compromising us. So let me get the script up, and I'll just read. Let's just get this out of the way, and then we can collect our money, right?
Yeah. So I'll do the recording and stuff in the mix, and you just go for it. Okay, you ready?
Okay. Yeah. Let's go for it.
Yeah. Go.
Hey, insert podcast. No. Hey, the Jambags Gaming Podcast listeners. We're all gamers, right? We know that gaming is an elite sport, yeah? Whether you're playing the latest online multiplayer or just sitting on your own in the dark trying to beat that high score. High score? Is this from the 80s or something?
Shut up and read it.
With being an elite sportsman or lady, like we are, sort of, you have to recognize that gaming is not without its risks to the body. Take piles, for instance, or hemorrhoids, or if you want their medical name, they are... Hey, piles? What is this?
Oh, this is good stuff, Dante. Keep it going, keep running.
Oh. Anyway, I know I do. Massive big grapes hanging from my anal cavity, just aggravated every time I sit down and play The Witcher 3 or Assassin's Creed Odyssey on my Xbox One S in my front room. Rudy, this is oddly specific. Did you write this?
No. They are just big fans of the show, yeah. They know your gaming habits. They've done their research. Come on. Carry on.
I don't know. This seems to be about me having piles.
We need the cash. Think about all the fraud.
Oh, okay, come on. All right. Okay, so when I'm sitting playing through those games or just working on a new podcast episode with my awesome co-host, Rudy, who definitely doesn't have piles, sometimes these nasty piles hurt so bad, and I have to sit on some ice or soft rubber cushion. But not anymore! Welcome to the new gaming edition of Anusol Pile Cream for your arse. Specially endorsed by me, Dante Rodriguez, with my personal guarantee that it works. Rudy, are you f***ing kidding? Did you write this?
I had a limited amount of creative input, I'll be honest, but it was just to personalise it for our listeners because they know who you are, they like you, they know your stuff. It's fine, it's going well.
All right, but there's better not be any more jabs at me. This is... Oh.
I guarantee that there are no more jabs at you. Absolutely no more bum grape jokes. Come on, let's finish this off, yeah?
This cream is a... All right, okay. Okay, this cream is applied using your fingers to your dank bottom hole, and within minutes, that itchy burning pain and bleeding I, Dante Rodriguez, suffer from whenever I game or my lardy asks, Rudy!
What? You are almost done. Come on, finish it off, man. Come on.
The itchy burning pain will be gone, or your money back. Just go to the website Anusol and enter the voucher name Dante Rodriguez has an itchy bloody piles to get your 10% off your first batch. Is that the real voucher number? Come on.
They insisted, Dante. They insisted.
So do that, and think of me whenever you wipe your piles away. Me, Dante Rodriguez, who has big pharma giles that bleed and itch like mad. Even right now. You, Rudy.
And that's a take.
And welcome everybody to the Jambags Gaming Podcast with myself, the big sellout for the pile cream, Dante Rodriguez, and my esteemed colleague,
Mr. Rudy Manchego.
Hello, Rudy. And we've had quite a big month at the Jambags Gaming Podcast. We've done some crossover events with some of our, let's say, fiercest rivals, who just happen to be good mates of ours, those people at Any Button Gaming. Who have allowed us onto their podcast, even though they heard our podcast and it still didn't put them off.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think one of the comments from, I think Mike on the podcast was that it was a show. And yes, thank you. We think that's probably...
that's about the nicest thing anyone's ever said about our content.
Yeah, it's Canadian. I imagine that's a good thing. So yeah, we are a show. We put on our branding.
Yeah, we made a Canadian call us a shit. I mean, aren't they super polite normally?
I mean, the thing you want to do as a content creator is evoke some kind of reaction in your listener or your viewer, and I think wow. I mean,
yeah. No, we nailed it. I think by the sound of it.
Yeah, so for anyone out there who thinks that they don't get quite enough of us on this podcast that you listen to, then you can go to Any Button Gaming on YouTube or on Spotify or any other good podcast hosts and take a listen. You can even see our beautiful faces.
They did it on video, didn't they?
They did. We're on video on YouTube, so in our backgrounds, looking, chilled, relaxed.
Aren't we just all very hairy, all of us?
Yes, we are. I mean, we're all in that lockdown era of still not quite, getting rid of the facial hair or just tending to ourselves at all. I don't think. Right now, I'm sat here literally in some leaves, covered in mud and poo, because I haven't washed or showered in weeks since that podcast. In fact,
no, we really should have gone for that manscaping sponsorship instead, shouldn't we?
In retrospect, yeah, and they seem to be sponsoring any old.
They really do.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen manscaping coming everywhere, and I didn't realize manscaping was a thing that I had to worry about. According to the advert, I do need to worry about it.
Yeah, no, I've never worried about it till I saw the advert telling me I had to worry about it.
Exactly, and that's a sign of a good advert. So yeah, so that's been quite fun, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
As we've done that, you might even see some more of our contributions popping up on the Any Button Gaming websites. So check our social media feeds out for that. So yeah, it was cool. It was quite interesting to be on someone else's podcast and actually talking about games. That was weird, wasn't it?
That was strange. Like we weren't making it up and coming up with news that isn't real or is kind of slightly based in reality, but mostly just stupid. It was actually talking about what we thought about games and sort of our gaming history, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's refreshing. We actually talked. I wouldn't say we talked sense, but we spoke real words for once, and I'm pretty proud of that. Anyway, how have you been doing? What have you been up to gaming wise?
I am still working my way through Ghost of Tsushima. I know you finished on that one, but I finally gotten to the snowy bit, and I'm not too far from the end, I don't think. So yeah, no, still enjoying it. I think there is a lot of truth to the whole open world fatigue. I mean, this is coming from someone who completed every single bit of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's I've maybe found it a little bit slower. Maybe sort of time to start looking at different styles of games rather than open world games with crafting elements. But it's such a beautiful game. I really want to see it through to the end.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I did myself a disservice. I went for the 100% on it because it seemed doable, and it is doable. But it dragged out the open world fatigue even more into the kind of checklist thing. Like, I need to go here. I'm here. Rather than just kind of going through the pace. I really enjoyed the story. I love the combat. It's a really good game, but yeah, it's put me off. I've got other games like Days Gone, which is heavily recommended by our friends at Anybody Gaming, and I'm sure it's a good game. But the idea of doing another open worlder, right now is just a bit like, it's not the game's fault, but I just feel that there's nothing new. Yeah, I don't feel the open world genre has evolved too much over this generation, particularly since The Witcher 3.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the pinnacle, really, isn't it?
The only game I can think of that's really gone in a different direction is Breath of the Wild, Zelda Breath of the Wild, because it evokes a very different kind of experience. But even so, it's still a large open world where you traipse across it. Do you know what I mean? Without, where you choose when to progress the story, and there's a lot of weaknesses with that. But hey, no, it was a good game. I enjoyed it. I'm glad that I got envious of your copy and bought mine as well.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. I've since I finally finished Dishonored 2, I think Dishonored: Death of the Outsider is probably coming up for me next. I think that's probably the perfect antidote for a big open world game. Is kind of a slightly smaller sort of stealth action type games. Even though the environments are quite open, you've got a lot of choice in there. It's not like you're just wandering off. You've got somewhere to get to and something to do when you get there.
Yeah, it's kind of like that kind of new thing, which is sort of like linear open world where you have spaces that you can choose how to progress, but ultimately you're not just the stories follows a linear progression, so you can't just pick up and choose when you go to it. It's just that you can do it. So that's the kind of format that The Last of Us Part 2 took, and the last two Uncharted games did as well. And I quite like that because you get a bit of best of both worlds, which is, you can plow ahead with the story or you can choose to examine the world. I like it anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah. What are you playing at the minute?
Playing a couple of games. I'm playing Carrion on Xbox Game Pass. So it's an indie game where you take the role of a monster that breaks out of a lab that kind of is a big blob tentacles thing that reddens and rips anything apart in front of it and absorbs their body and grows bigger the more that you eat. And it's cool. An interesting indie game. It is cool. I've got only one gripe with it, which is that the sensation of the movement in it is amazing. It's so smooth. There's this kind of tentacle beast that kind of climbs off walls and stuff like that. It's really cool to move, and it's really cool to just grab someone with a tentacle. But ultimately, the map is just, there's no map in it, and it's a bit of a Metroidvania. So there's a lot of backtracking, and it becomes quite confusing a little bit in places. I've been a bit like, I spent a good 10 minutes going, where am I going? And I'm pretty good at Metroidvanias. So yeah, it's pretty good. And the other game I'm playing at the moment is Disco Elysium. So
nice. No, we played that at EGX, didn't we? And
we did. And
got some really good press.
I'm probably only about quarter to a third of the way through it, but it is one of the best games I've ever played, without a doubt. It is awesome. I'm absolutely hooked on it. Put it this way, when I'm a third of the way through the game and I buy the soundtrack, you know that it's got me somewhere, deep inside. So yeah, really enjoying that. My mind could change on it, but to be honest, it's not really about just the world and the writing in it. It's so dense, the writing. It's
what
just great.
What format are you playing it on?
You can play on most PCs. They've even put out like an update where I can play on really sort of low powered PCs and Macs. So it's not too demanding. So give it a go. So anyway, yeah, that's what I've been playing, Dante.
Awesome. No, that sounds good. I might check that out at some point. I mean, there's a few of those games that we played at EGX that I've bought and haven't got around to playing it. Like the Occupation, I was going to give a go to as well. I've got that in my backlog. This has turned into a backlog blue balls bit, hasn't it?
So I have as well, and I keep meaning to go to it. I've got that, but yeah, this is definitely one of those games that's lived up to the hype. And once you get over the first hour of getting used to the systems, it's good. It's really, really good. So we've got a pretty jam-packed podcast today, particularly news. There's after the kind of slow news of lockdown and stuff like that, with the world sort of falling around, stuff's starting to pick up. So should we just move straight into our news?
I think it is time to go to From the Jambags.
Welcome back, Jambaggers. We are doing From the Jambags. This is our news segment, and wow, stuff's getting gripping. We've got a lot, right, Dante?
Yeah, no, there's a lot going on. I mean, you wouldn't think there's quite so much going on with lockdown, seemingly like that sort of no gaming news, but it really does seem like this has been quite a juicy month. So, what have you got for us first, Rudy?
I've got the big story, which is big, and I want to be quite clear. Wholly unexpected how this has developed. Yeah, so Epic Games, this is the makers of the Unreal Engine and games like Gears of War, but more importantly, the big old milky cash cow that is Fortnite, are now in a showdown with two of the giants of the tech industry, Google and Apple.
Stadia.
And Stadia as well. Yeah, Google Stadia, they're in that as well. And this is the showdown that, seemingly nobody wanted, but it just seemed to happen. It just seemed, I don't know where it came from. You see, Epic, the small indie studio with a net worth of $17.3 billion of net equity, has had no choice. And I've written this down in capitals, Dante. No choice but to take on
shouting it out.
Yeah, but to take on the evil, again, that's also capitalised, bullies of Apple and Google over Fortnite. You see, it turns out that Epic, who have a small and what I understand to be semi-popular game called Fortnite, not to be confused with PUBG, and also the creators,
which is what we call a 2-week period of time, isn't it?
It is indeed. And also the creators of the Unreal Engine, which is apparently used occasionally in some games, but not any big ones. We're getting potentially illegally shafted. Because Apple and Google physically demand, with violence, that anyone who uses their app store gives them 30% of the money, which is an awful lot, and something that Epic had no idea about when they signed the contract with them 3 or 4 years before. So this is something that, clearly being the very small developer that Epic are, that no one's already heard of them before.
Nobody at all.
They can't afford that. So when they realise
they're so hard up for money, they're really stuck for it, aren't they?
Yeah, hole in one there, Dante. So after they realised what they've been signing up for and paying for the last few years became a complete surprise to them, and only making a few billions out from the app stores, they had to do a sudden and completely unexpected turnabout and give players the opportunity to liberate themselves by paying them directly for in-game currency items in the game. So, obviously this flies in the face of the cruel and cowardly contract that Apple and Google had tricked Epic into signing and paying for. And they've now flexed their evil corporate muscles and banned Fortnite from their app store.
Ooh.
Okay. So this has thrown the Fortnite community just into carnage and made Epic, and I stress this, had no choice but to launch a very last minute and desperate bid to keep their billions of dollars with a hashtag free Fortnite and had to hastily throw together a lavishly expensive cinematic advert that was beautifully rendered. And I mean, they had to do that at the last minute because they had no idea this was going to happen or this would be the outcome.
At all. It's almost like they managed to produce it overnight, and they must have really put the midnight oil in there. It's not like they could have possibly had it pre-prepared and knew exactly what they were doing or anything. Absolutely not. And I mean, I just think everyone's just shocked that I think Epic's shocked that they were just trying to stand up for the little guy, the average gamer, and actually since it's mainly kids that play Fortnite, literally little people. They're a small business. Everyone's, going through recession, guys. It's difficult times. Just trying to make their way, being tricked for several years into this contract. Sure. Then, all of a sudden deciding they were going to fight back, and then having to come up with this cool hashtag T-shirts, logos, and a cinematic trailer that parodies an Apple advert from the 1980s, like that, like overnight, Dante. And I mean, this is just. David and Goliath, isn't it? Really, it's Robin Hood versus the cowardly King John and the Sheriff of Nottingham. I mean, I feel for Epic, and I hope they win against those evil guys that tricked them. Yeah, no, I'm 100% on who is it again? Epic's side. Yeah, 100%. If they would rather sponsor us than the anus oil cream, because I don't want to do that again. Well, they haven't got the money now because they've got this legal action. They spent all their money, burning the midnight oil to get a really lavish trailer out. You mean they've only got a few billions left? Yeah, they can't waste that on the literal peanuts that we charge. No, not at all. That would make us quite comfortable and able to do this podcast more professionally if they did. Not that they're going to be listening and listening to my plea at all. Anyway. You've got something for us now, Dante. I do. Good old DP friends. Yes, good old friends at DP, Digital Paintings. Well, this is kind of a group effort, really. It also includes some of those fine people at Hacktivision Snowstorm. Essentially, it's all about moving into the new generation of hardware and software, and it appears that both Digital Paintings and Hacktivision Snowstorm will be charging more for their next-gen games. Details of the next Shooty Bang Bang Hot Lead games have emerged, and Hacktivision casually just mentioned at the end of the announcement that there's going to be some additional costs if you get the next-gen version. So on top of it's not like these other ones like Smart Delivery, like Xbox, where you've got the old version and they'll just give you the new version for free for nothing, which is again quite looking forward to that with Cyberpunk when that comes around. But for this one, for the Shooty Bang Bang Hot Lead, I just like saying that. I'm going to keep saying that. You have to pay a little bit extra. So on top of the price for the current gen version, you have to pay an additional $10 on top. So it's going to cost you $10 more. Coins that you've got lying around your house from another country, so euros or dollars, depending on which country you're from, or any coin that's dated before the 1980s can work. You have to provide that as well. You have to provide a Happy Meal or equivalent delivered to either Rand Morbuck's or Barry Gofuck private estate. So those are the CEOs, aren't they, of DP and Hacktivision? Just to clarify. Yes, Hacktivision. Yes, Barry Gofuck is the very well known and publicised CEO of Hacktivision. And yes, we've had Rand Morbucks on our show more times than I care to imagine. I'm surprised we haven't been kind of taken off air because of all of his hijinks and stuff. But yeah, we have yet to interview Barry Gofuck, though, do we? No, we'll work on that. I think for a future episode. Yeah. So Yeah, and along with that, you have to provide a pint of blood and one of your teeth, or someone else's if you can find some. So all these things have been added to the cost of the next-gen versions of Shooty Shooty Bang Bang Hot Lead, and apparently this is going to become the industry standard next year when the next gen is in full swing. All the other companies will be doing it just because the big boys are.
So my question to you, Dante, as someone that you're up for next gen, you're hoping to get Xbox Series X.
I am.
Shoot, Shooty, Bang, Bang, Hot Lead.
Yes.
Are you going to be paying the extra money, getting that pint of blood and knocking out one of your teeth?
Well, my kids will be coming up to kind of tooth fairy age soon enough, so I'll use one of theirs.
That's fair. That's actually quite a good idea. Mine aren't, but accidents happen, don't they? So,
yes, no, they run into doors all the time.
If I leave a couple of cricket bats around, I'm sure something nature will run its course. Yeah, I mean, it's just the way things are going to be, and I guess we as consumers have got to accept that if we want next gen, we've got to literally give up body parts. That's the only thing we're going to do.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it.
Reasonable to me.
All right, Rudy, you have something about another upcoming game that was in beta recently.
Yeah, and it's interesting actually. First of all, I want to say, do you say beta or beta?
I think when I'm talking about beta testing, I talk about I do talk about an open beta for some reason.
Yeah, I talk about beta.
If I'm talking about almost anything else, I would say beta.
Yeah, I always say beta, and I think that I've picked up a bad habit there. But anyway, as you said, this game's been in beta, boota.
Beta, beta,
a boota.
It's not Canadian. Shh.
Yeah, and so it's coming out soon. It's a big name title, but this is a new brawler, superhero themed, from a very big big sort of superhero franchise. Revengers, semicolon, lack of effort. Well, they held their open beta over the last few months, and reactions have been, I'm going to be honest, they've been mixed, to the game. Now, game developer Box Penis has come under fire for essentially taking, what some have said is a standard co-op brawler, a very standard genre, and turning that into an online looter-shooter model that works so well for games like Anthem and Destiny 2, which have no problems whatsoever.
You don't want to compare yourself to Anthem, really, do you?
Or Division 2, or Destiny, or Battleborn, or...
the Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Breakwind, yeah.
Breakwind.
So, details of the monetization have yet to be revealed, but we all know it's coming. But we know it's coming. We know it's coming. That this whole game's Revenge's lack of effort is going to be stuffed to the
it's going to be a corporate cash grab, isn't it?
But we are starting to see those corporate sponsorship details leaking out a little bit. So, for example, once you bought the base game, which is going to release at standard cost, you can, for a very reasonable $15.99, you can give all the heroes, so all the mainline heroes, a Walmart themed outfit, complete with a big Walmart star right in the middle of everyone's asses. And if that wasn't enough, to add another layer of it, you can turn all their weapons or accoutrements of their outfit into Subway sandwiches that you club each other with. And if you pay a bit more, you can also make those a foot long. So they start off as a 6-inch, make them a foot long.
Do it a foot long, actually, yeah.
You pay a little bit more, you can get it warmed up.
Ooh,
toasted. And obviously it moves... You can get it toasted, yeah. And obviously it depends. So, for example, you pay a little bit more. If you pay the basic rate, you can get a very plain ham salad, 6-inch. But you pay a bit extra, you can get the foot-long meatball marinara with extra cheese on top. And some cookies on the side.
Can you throw the meatballs at the other Avengers?
Yeah, absolutely. You can. They're yours once you've bought from this. Is the beauty of capitalism. Once you bought it, it's yours to dispose of how you want it. Now they don't last very long, like a real Subway, so you have to keep buying them. But also, if you pay extra, you get cookies, you get a drink, and you get one of those little green baskets. So yeah, I mean that's just two of the corporate deals that have been announced before it goes up. They're thinking about lining up that there'll be similar sponsorship deals for McDonald's, Burger King, Anusol. They're getting on it as well. They're spending a lot. Manscaping.
Will you have to manscape your character, and you have to take Tony Stark and manscape his balls a little bit.
And I think for a very long mini game, you have to manscape the Hulk, and that's. Is not going to make him happy. It's going to be a difficult job. So yeah, there's an awful lot of corporate sponsorship just oozing out of Revenge's lack of effort. And I got to say, I think it's going to potentially sink this new superhero franchise opener.
There's been enough people online talking about this particular game and with sort of very worried looks on their faces, thinking that it's going to be just opening the door to so much corporate problems that it's going to make it a not very enticing prospect. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some diehard Marvel fans, and I would usually consider myself that if all these reports weren't quite so heinous sounding, I would probably be getting a game like this. But just everything about it makes me worry now.
I'll be honest. Yeah, this game. If this was a single player focused, brawler, I'd be fine with that. Like Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man, or Batman Arkham games, I'd be a day oneer for this. Even if the game didn't turn out to be amazing, I'd be like, well, it tells a competent, storyline. I'd be happy with it. But I don't like life. I like a beginning, middle, and end to my stories. I like things to have a story. I don't like to be constant stuff I've got to do all the time. I've got a job. I get that every day. I want to feel like I'm getting somewhere.
It does sound like busy work, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Okay, I'll say final news story, but this is another biggie for us. So you want to hit it?
Yes. All right. Okay. So this is a big one. Again, also covering a little bit on the lines of corporate sponsorship. But okay, so quite a few of you will be well aware of the very popular streaming service Twatch. Twatch streamers are furious about online bots being used to promote latest offers from UK burger chain Wimpy's during their online streams.
Yeah, I've seen a bit of this cause some hoo-ha. I mean, obviously, Twatch is a massive platform. It's mopped up from Ninja, which was Microsoft's attempted.
That was platform. The one they shut down on Microsoft.
Yeah,
yes,
so a lot of Ninja streamers moved over to Twatch, which is
Twatch is pretty huge, really.
Yeah, it's a pretty wide space that it can fit quite a lot of people in, can't it? Really, depending on whatever you want to show off, you can only fit that into Twatch. Yeah, no,
and there's people that seem to use Twatch not even for just games, for talking about TV shows they like and all that sort of stuff. But
yeah.
No, I know our I'd say friend of the podcast. I'm pretty sure he took a shat on my lawn the other week. But Salty Tears Inflictor gave us a quote about it when he was when we gave him a just because he's someone we know. I didn't particularly want to talk to him, but he gave us an on the air quote about it, which I'm just going to hit play on now. The last thing I need when I'm trying to totally brilliantly amazing game skill or teabag someone is that big old burger man popping up and telling people how much the Bender burgers cost. Frankly, their burgers don't give me the sustenance I need to defecate on all your losers' lawns, so I stay well the away.
Wow. Okay, so
I think there's probably more about this because I spoke to him off the record for a little bit afterwards, and he did say that he probably would have been okay with it if Wimpy had paid him some actual money, or given him a free rack of ribs or something like that. He said he would have been fine with it because streamers do rely on this corporate sponsorship to make any money.
Yeah, I mean, I feel a little bit that STI is playing to his audience there, which is the kind of, being an awesome gamer. Anyone else who isn't as awesome as him is a loser. You're not a real gamer. That kind of crowd. And so for him to, since he didn't get any kickback, it's part of his style to go in there and do that and defecate on someone's lawn. Yeah, that's what he does.
I think Mr. Wimpy is going to get some serious poo on his lawn.
Absolutely.
Wimpy corporate headquarters, wherever that is, I don't know.
They'll be waking up to find a massive poo bender on their lawn. It's going to be harsh.
Yeah, what are your into his salty tears?
Yeah, what are your thoughts? I mean, Twitch streaming is a big deal now. It draws in millions of viewers. Everyone's glued to Twitch, and as you said, lots of people are into it. People are doing it for different things, not just gaming now, but comedians, performers. Particularly now, everyone's sort of locked down or can't get out as much. So I mean, how do you feel about such a big industry?
Well, I mean, it could be my complete lack of understanding or total ignorance about Twitch streaming and on Twitch in general. But my thought is to Salty, just go get you a real job, mate, and you don't have to worry about shit like this.
Whoa, Dante, these people might be listening to us. These Twitch streamers might be listening to us right now. And I would like to say that from Jambags' perspective is that we think that streaming on Twitch is a hard thing to do. We purposely don't do it because we would
No, we'd be terrible at it.
Yeah, us and Twatch don't go well together. So
no, we're terrible with Twatch.
So, but anyway, but for Salty Tears, definitely get a job. You can,
that guy. He's been thrown off
the rest
so many.
the rest of you guys who are
making a community out of streaming and getting some people to support you and really bringing people together. I really do respect streamers, no matter how much I might badmouth them on this podcast. I think they do a pretty cool job. It's just that it's not something that I would know how to do or would necessarily get involved with too much myself. But I know a lot of people get a lot out of it, and keep up the good work.
Yeah, me and Dante just think that us and Twatch don't mix.
No.
Okay, then shall we? We've got a pretty exciting segment coming up, so should we get into it?
Yeah, no. Let's make that call. Hello Jambaggers, we are at our Developer Jam segment where we get to talk to someone from the gaming industry, normally an executive or a creative director, or someone who's involved in creating games of some description. In this month's Developer Jam, we have managed to book a full teleconference with the entire Ubisoft creative department. That's right, this is the team that brought you the Stabbers Code series, which everyone knows who follows the Instagram that I'm a big fan of. The Long Shriek games, kind of the stealth action open world. Well, they're all stealth action open world games, every single Ubisoft game, but never mind. We've got the Tom Preeclampsia's Ghost Wind series, the Shit Drivers, that one like that. Yeah, all those Ubisoft games they've been done there. They're one of the biggest voices in the AAA market, and we're going to talk to the creative team now. So got the teleconference. I'm going to use the old Zoom here, and I'm going to call them up here, and hopefully, I can hit ring in. Yeah, code connecting. Allow me in. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Hey there. Hey, hello. Thanks for thanks for dialing into the call. We here at Jambags. I know some bad stuff been going on lately, but generally, I've been a big fan of your games over the years, and it's such an honour to talk to the creative team at Ubisoft. I mean, you've put some fantastic games out there. The creative output, the direction of the whole team. It's brilliant to be talking to a publisher who's got multiple worldwide studios and made games that have made millions of pounds, dollars, and whatever other currency that of the countries that they're sold in. So, thank you very much.
Hello?
Oh, sorry. I probably should save that till I knew who I was talking to. Hey, sorry, could you put me through to the Ubisoft creative team, please?
Yes, speaking.
Oh, okay. That's great. I mean, is everybody there? Can everyone in the room hear me?
Just me, I'm afraid. Just me.
Okay. Sorry. So who's this? Who am I talking to?
It's Colin. Colin Smith. I'm an intern here at Ubisoft. Been working in the office for the last 3 or 4 weeks now, I think.
Okay. So is there a problem, Colin? Did I catch you on a bad day? I was expecting to be talking to the entire team. I mean, just by the basic count, that has to be at least 8 people, right?
Yeah, just me, I'm afraid. You see, I used to just come in and really to make the teas, coffees, and take notes, and occasionally get touched. But as I'm the only one, it seems I'm all that's left of the creative team at the moment here at Ubisoft.
Okay, wait. Okay, so what do you mean you're all that's left? What about Hergé Le Monde?
According to our work intranet, Hergé has retired suddenly with full pay and benefits.
Retired? He's like only a couple of years older than me. He's like 40, early 40s, according to my Wikipedia page. Is something wrong?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I mean, our HR department in the memo did say that he wanted to spend more time with his family and children, so I don't know.
Okay, well, again, not that Wikipedia is right about everything, but Wikipedia does say he's a single man with no children. It certainly doesn't mention anything in his family section.
I'd probably have to ask him then. I mean, the HRT were pretty insistent it was definitely not because he was a serial abuser of female staff and a bully to everyone, just that he wanted to spend more time with his kids, I suppose.
Those kids that are fabrications and don't exist.
Yeah, those are the ones.
Okay, right. Okay, what about everyone else? I mean, is David Dongleur there, the VP for the new IP?
Also retired on full pay to spend time with his family.
Okay, well, I don't have the energy to go to Wikipedia for another one of these monsters. Does he have a family?
Probably not.
Okay. What about Samuel Touchyfingers? Hélène Cover-Up? Christophe Intolerant? Anyone still there?
Let's see, in order that you've just spoken there, retired on administrative leave, and I believe Christophe is on a drug binge in a strip club in Montmartre as part of his retirement party.
He's on retirement party now too? Okay.
Yeah, well, he's been on the retirement party for 6 days now. I think the CEO's with him, to be honest.
Okay, okay. So is all this to do with the recent controversy of decades-long abuse, intimidation, inappropriate behaviour, and general shitfuckery?
Well, I mean, before she went on leave, I did get one thing from Helen Coverup, who's head of HR. She left me a quick note. Wait a second, I'm just gonna get So here's what it says. Don't let them and tell them nothing. Anyway, we didn't do anything bad or touch no one, so don't mention it. And those staff members who left or mysteriously disappeared probably did so for other reasons. They were disloyal and cucks. You should just focus on all the awesome and creative ideas that the creative team, i.e. you, have to drive our next generation success story. So I suppose that's probably what I've got to do in the rest of this call. Thank you.
Okay, that's, you kind of said the quiet part loud and the loud part, never mind. Anyway, if this is what Helen Coverup said, I suppose we have no choice but to believe her and all the press releases. Yeah, that totally makes sense. So what are the ideas of the creative team, or you as it is now?
Well, I know Sergei, before he's about to have to go spend time with his fictional children, was keen to highlight the latest Stabbers Code game, the one with the Vikings with the big spiky halberds in it, and the choppy sword thing. So we could maybe talk about that. I've seen the trailer for it.
Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah, it looks great. I've been looking forward to it, 'cause, I'm a big fan of the other Stabbers Code one. I'm not sure quite how the original Stabbers Code games get as far as Vikings, but hey, whatever. But what other new things are planned for the future? As in, what's the next game past Stabbers Code?
You mean, sorry, you meant you want me to tell you?
I would like the creative team to say it. Yes.
Okay. How about, I don't know. How about something with pirates? People like pirates, don't they? They can go like, you can fire cannons and things. Okay,
yeah, no. I have seen like a teaser for Head, Shoulders, Knees and Toes, your upcoming pirate simulator. That's not just Black Flag, Stabbers Code with the Stabbers Cody bit taken out.
Oh yeah, we are doing that one, aren't we? Well, what about something with a dinosaur that can talk?
Okay, that's interesting. So, what kind of game? What sort of genre of game would that fit into?
Genre? What?
Yeah. What style of game would it be? First person, third person, adventure game? What would it be?
It would definitely be a big one with lots of demographics and music and the things that people like in games.
Okay, so what would the player do in this game that's next on the list?
They're a dinosaur, so they would have to break out of a theme park, and then because obviously they can, as I said, they can talk. You need to use your speech to escape the island on a dinosaur-sized boat.
Right, so it's a survival game.
Could be. It's very, very, very early days yet on that one.
Yeah, no, it's nice to have this behind the curtain look at what's going on over there and what's next on your slate. So what else can we expect?
How about a game about some yellow like mouth thing that eats dots and ghosts and bleeps around? Maybe.
Yeah. You're talking about Pac-Man, aren't you?
No. Sorry, I meant a secret organisation of stabby assassins who are trying to foil an evil organisation. We could do one of those games pretty quickly, I reckon.
Yeah, well, we already talked about that. The Vikingsy one, the Stabber's Code. Yeah, you're already making that, and you've already talked about it.
What about an open world shooter where there's an eccentric bad guy and you stealth around and fire bows and arrows and craft things and kill quite a lot of innocent wildlife?
Yeah, so again, you're talking about the fairly well-established long shriek games that you guys make. Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that one quite quickly though. Okay, look. What's the time? Why don't give me a second? What about an intern called Colin, who is promoted without experience, above his means, and he has to work out how to escape a corporate skyscraper and the clutches of an awkward interview, all because he works for an organisation who is morally bankrupt.
Wait, you mean...
Bye!
Actually, that last game sounded fun, like Die Hard meets Disclosure or something. That sounded pretty good. And that brings us to the end of another of the Jambags monthly gaming podcast. Thank you all for listening to our show, and we end the podcast with questions from listeners. We've got a couple this month. So first one we've got is from Grimeward, and Grimeward has asked, "Have we played Fall Guys yet?"
So for those not in the know, Fall Guys is the new online battle royale game that has taken the world by storm, and major corporations as well, where you play as a little, is it a bean? I think it is.
I think so,
who tolls around.
Something cute.
It's kind of it's something cute. You wobble around, basically doing some kind of like, Takeshi's Castle kind of thing, but the idea being is
wipe out or something.
Yeah, exactly. You wipe out and you get the last one win it. And everyone's streaming it, everyone is loving it. But we haven't played it, have we? And there's some reasons for that, Dante. The first one is probably that it's popular.
It's popular, yeah, which is why I don't play Fortnite as well.
So no, we haven't played it. And the other reason is that, look, Grimmy, I'm going to call you Grimmy. I don't mind if you like that name or not. We're bearing down on 40.
Yeah, we're getting there, aren't we?
We have been locked down for a while with nothing but junk food, and we don't really have much hand-eye coordination at the best of times. So when we see these little beans that are like these little blobby creatures flopping and wobbling around, it really reminds me of trying to go to the toilet on a Friday night after a couple of pints. And I just don't need to be reminded of that in my time of life. Yeah, no, I mean, getting from the chair that I work in back to the chair that I sit and do nothing in for the rest of the evening is starting to be quite precarious, and this game is just a little bit too on the nose, a little bit too close to home. I mean, we're quite in my life. Yeah, we're obviously it's been a difficult year 2020. We were quite happy playing a game like The Last of Us, our part 2, where we go around in a pandemic and stabbing people, but big wobbly inflatable guys falling over is just hits us where it hurts. It's too depressing for us. It's a bit too realistic. Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully, Grimblar, that's answered your question. Dante, you've got another question for us. Another question from one of our fans, Starbuck. Starbuck has asked, do we need an intern for the podcast to work at Jambags HQ that will take payment in biscuits? I mean, there's two parts for me. First of all, Dante, let's hear from you. Let's hear what your thoughts are. We're the hiring panel here. I think we both accept we need an intern, right?
Well, yeah, no, I mean, with the sheer amount of work that we've got, I mean, the amount of effort that we put into this podcast, and definitely don't come up with our ideas 20 seconds before we hit record. It's getting to be quite a lot of stress and strain. So an intern would be quite useful. My main problem here, and I think you've got a slightly different one to me, but my main problem is that Jambags HQ is entirely fictional, and that we record between. There's not an actual building that we go to record in, as much as we might try and give that illusion.
Yeah,
so
I've just bleeped.
It would be difficult.
I have just bleeped out the fact that you're giving away our locations, but we live in two different parts of the country. Just because there are people that we owe money to, and it's awkward. But
and those alt-right guys, they really didn't like that segment, but where we didn't greenlight their game.
Yeah. So yes, I mean you've got to. Yes, there are some practical problems, I think, which is that there is no headquarters, so there's no place to actually come work for us. We do want an intern, but that intern would have to divide themselves across the country and serve as equally at the same time. So there would be a logistical challenge for them there. But my main concern isn't that, Dante. It's actually the payment.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Biscuits too much for you?
It's not about, well, put it this way, you know me very well. We've known each other for many, many years. There are three things that I don't share. Yeah. One.
Okay, yeah.
Love and emotions. Okay. I don't.
True.
I don't do that. I'm
very
dead inside.
cold, especially on your wedding day. That was
very much
very
so.
Cold.
Two, cheese. 3, biscuits.
Ooh.
And I especially don't give away cheese and biscuits.
Well, they are very closely linked, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they're kind of symbiotic.
You know, we were talking about Fall Guys. I was wobbling and flobbing around. The cheese and the biscuits is reasons why I'm like that. I could not. I mean, I would not give biscuits away. Now, I would pay in other stuff I've got laying around. My house is quite dusty. You can have some dust. You know, there's definitely some green stuff in the fruit bowl that I won't be touching. So, welcome to that. But I could not accept such an expensive proposition as some biscuits. I'm just sorry, Starbuck. I'm sure you'd make a fantastic intern. I would love to have you at our fictional HQ, but I can't pay in biscuits. I'm sorry, I won't negotiate on that.
Did you pay in retro games and consoles? Because you got a few of them.
So there are 4 things that I don't give away.
Okay, what's our last question?
Our last question comes from I'm going to have to bleep this out as well. The uppist. And they want. I think
so many bleeps this month.
There is quite a lot. This is
you.
a lot of editing, and it's great. I've got a bank holiday weekend, so this is one about next gen, and it asks that have you guys put down your orders or pre-orders for next gen consoles, and it's not as easy as that, is it, Dante? No.
I mean, you've obviously looked into the PlayStation. I mean, neither of them have released their prices yet or anything like that. But as we keep mentioning on our podcast, but you're approaching it from the Sony perspective, and I've tried to make headway into it from the Microsoft website. So I mean, it's a tricky landscape at the moment, isn't it?
Or Manscaped, as the
Manscaped,
as the case seems.
Please give us money.
Yeah, we will Manscaped Dante something chronic. Yeah, so from my experience here is that there's a lot of concerns, what with COVID, etc., that there won't be enough supply and demand. Sony have already said there will be, far more limited supply at launch than some people would like because of the whole the world gone to hell. So what I have done is I have gone to their website and registered my interest in being able to register my interest in being able to put a pre-order down for a PlayStation 5. So, but I wasn't quite quick enough, so I'm actually on the waiting list to register my interest, to be able to pre-order a PlayStation 5. So I'm on the list, but it's not easy. About yourself, what have you got up to?
Well, I think I've actually had a little bit more success than that. I'm actually meeting a guy behind the bins at the big Asda on the other side of town who says he's going to sort me out with some X. I mean, I assume he meant Xbox Series X.
Yeah. Is this the bloke that hangs out behind the old laser centre that we used to hang out?
Yeah, my old friend Koki McCokerson. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I mean, we've run in with Koki McCokerson before, and well,
it's a while ago.
You'll get something, I think.
Yeah.
But no, it sounds like you have more luck than I have. It's good to know you're going to get the Xbox Series X before it's even launched, by the sounds of it, because I've got, I'm, as far as I'm concerned, I think even my mum's going to get a PlayStation 5 before me at this rate. It's just...
Yeah, no, there really doesn't seem to be a great deal. And I mean, I was watching a commentator on YouTube about it today. I mean, they must know by now what they're going to charge for it, and they must know, they must be... I mean, we're like a month away, a month and a half.
Yeah, it's a kind of who's going to blink first, isn't it? Kind of thing between Microsoft and Sony, and you only get one shot to make your launch, sound good. I still think
that's very true.
I still think Sony have got something up their sleeve in terms of games or exclusives. I've got a feeling there's something just waiting to drop that they're going to do as an announcement together to do it. But we shall see. So. Yes, Dante, you're going down by the back of an abandoned warehouse. You're going to get some X. We assume Series X from our friend Koki McCokerson. And I am going to keep trying to register my interest. I'm keep trying to get go up the list to register my interest, to put a pre-order on a future release for a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, no, I bet if I looked on the Microsoft website, I could do something as lame as that too. But nothing that actually secures you a copy. So I'm going to go with my warehousey bin, might stab me kind of guy.
No judging from me. So I think that pretty much rounds out our podcast for this month, for this fair month.
It does. So, Rudy, where can people get in touch with us?
Oh, I am glad you asked us. So, the best place to get in touch with us is on the old socials. So you can find us as our primary Twitter handle, which is at Jambags_UK, which is a branded one that I run. And Dante, you can find him on
DanSolo96. That's at my Twitter handle there. You can find us there. You can also find us on our Instagram account, which is at Jambags_UK. Same as the main Twitter handle, but that one's run by me and basically not done a great... I will start putting some of my Ghost of Tsushima stuff on there because I've taken so many captures of that game. It's unreal. So that's going to be going up fairly soon. There's those main social areas. Also the YouTube account you can find us. So if you search for Jambags on YouTube, you'll find the Jambags Gaming Podcast YouTube channel, and our podcast gets uploaded there. Where have I missed, Rudy?
It is missed. We are also on Facebook, which is another great way if you want to message us or DM us, and we're at Jambags UK. If you want to search for that on there. And lastly, if you are listening to this podcast, but this podcast is available not just on YouTube, you can get it on Spotify. It is also available on Apple Podcasts and all good RSS feeds. So you can subscribe to us through many podcast apps and download and listen to us. Give it a go. Subscribe to us. If you are listening to us on anything like Apple or Spotify, if you could subscribe or like the podcast or leave a review and a comment, makes a massive difference to our visibility and stuff like that. So, that would be fab. And I think we are spent.
Yeah, I mean, did we actually have to shut down our website, or was that a joke?
No, but we did. I forgot to pay for it for a while and then didn't have the cash to get it before it, and we lost the website. So I've still got the domain name, but I lost the site. I still have the source file somewhere, but I don't know I think I've got the article somewhere. But that was my bad.
Oops, daisy.
Yeah, well, to be honest, the analytics on it were... Well, we had a lot
of... Just you and me, wasn't it?
We had a lot of spammy friends. We had a lot of comments on Viagra.
Hey, Viagra
and stuff. So, to be honest, I just thought I was a bit lazy, but... It was also right at the start of lockdown, and I was just like, I don't have the cash. So,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jambaggers, for listening to another Jambags Gaming Podcast. We look forward to hearing from you on the first Wednesday of next month, when we will have the October Jambags Gaming Podcast. See you then. Thanks for tuning in.
Dante, I've been listening back to the podcast from this month, and I liked your interview. To be honest, I say I liked it. I was expecting a little bit more from the Ubisoft interview.
The Ubisoft segment, yeah.
Not your fault, but
not,
I mean,
not what I was expecting at all. No,
I felt bad for that Colin Smith guy.
He's been left holding the bag, hasn't he?
Exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, he's left holding the bag. He seems like a nice guy. Have you got any? Did you manage to get back in contact with him, or did you find out where he went or anything?
Well, I did try his cell phone mobile kind of get changing every so often. I heard it sounded like he left in the plane or something like that. I think last time I checked in on him, he was in Canada. He was in Alberta, I think it was.
Oh, let's have a quick look on LinkedIn, see if I can bring him up on there. Hold on.
Wow, Colin, head creative director for BioWare?
Wow. So those guys are struggling. Have you has he got anything about his bio, about what he's working on at the moment?
Okay, let's bring so the gameindustry.biz or something. Okay, yeah, no, they're putting a strong pitch about a game about pirates, but I think that's getting rejected. And
there's a talking dinosaur.
Oh yeah, no, they're running. They're calling it Dinosaur Age Inquisition.
Well, that does sound good, actually.
Yeah, I'm totally going to buy that. Well done, Colin. Nice.
Well, I tell you what, yeah, he has pulled himself up from a disastrous situation there, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, no, what could go wrong at BioWare?